Hey guys, welcome to the next tutorial of ethical hacking and penetration testing via Kali Linux. So in the previous tutorial, I taught you exactly how we could go ahead and gather information through Google Docs. So in this tutorial, I'll be continuing with the first part, and this will be a 2 or 3 part tutorial in total, so just to be specific. So the initial check that we would be doing is that we would be confirming whether the website is vulnerable or not to a SQL map through SQL injection. For every string that I have showed you, you will get hundreds of search results. So you might be wondering, how do you know which is really vulnerable to SQL map injection? There's multiple ways to do that, and I'm sure that people will argue that which one is the best, but to me, I'll be following the simplest and the most conclusive stuff. So what you need to do is that, let's say you have searched a website using in URL column item underscore id equals to, and one of the search result will show you a website like http colon sql dummywebsite.com /cgi/bin and item.cgi or something like that. So just you need to add a single quotation mark at the end of the URL, and just to ensure it is a double quotation mark and it is not a single quotation mark. So now your URL will become something like SQL dummy website .com /cgi/bin item cgi item equals to 15 apostrophe. So if the page returns an SQL error, the page is vulnerable to SQL map injection. So if it loads or redirects you to a different page, move on to the next site in your Google search results page. So you can see example errors over here that I have obscured everything including the URL and the page design for obvious reasons. So these are the errors. Let me see if I have an image that I created last time. Okay, perfect. So I had this specific website that I used, and this was the error that I got. That's dbd mysql db select row. So I'll go ahead and show you specific things as to how we could actually what are the errors that we're going to get and what does it mean exactly. So I'll just go to the previous one. Okay, so if you see this kind of error, so let me check. Okay, this was the website that I was telling you. This, I will assume that this is your website, and just put an apostrophe in the end and it will work. That's what it did to my actually. So these are the errors that you would be getting. So description would be over here for this, that it's an unhandled exception that's occurred during the execution of current web request. Please review this tag trace for information about the error where it originated in the code, blah blah blah, and something like that. So you don't actually need to know much in detail about exactly what this is. So I'll show you different types of error that normally people would get. This is another one, that separate argument is not valid, MySQL fetch array, and yeah, so as you can see, it's in var www myawesomestore.com. That means this var means it is under Linux. If you have an error in SQL syntax, check the manual that corresponds to MySQL server version for the right syntax. That means the people have all the names inside quotes at line 12, and it is vulnerable to multiple quotes. Then we have the Java SQL, this SQL error, SQL command not properly entered at Oracle JDBC database, and yeah, SQL exception Java Oracle. Okay, perfect. Quoted string not properly terminated. This means that the error was not properly terminated, and some or the other thing, like for example, if you had used C++ or C before, then you know that you need to always go ahead and put a semicolon in the end for the specific command to end. But similarly over here, the specific code was not properly terminated, and that is the reason why we received this error. Then after that we have query failed, that's error unterminated quoted string or at or near. So that means that multiple quotes were there, or there were 3 quotes to start but there were 4 quotes to end. That's why it was not properly terminated. And this is the final one. So let's go ahead and list the database management systems using SQL map SQL injection. As you can see from over here, I have found an SQL map SQL injection vulnerable website. That's this one. Now I need to list all the databases in that vulnerable database. This is called as enumerating number of columns. So as I am using SQL map, I'll tell you also which one is vulnerable. You need to go ahead and run a specific command. This is how it looks like when you go ahead and run the SQL map. This is the specific website and it will show you everything. So in here you need to go ahead and name your SQL map query, and over here I'll just go ahead and show it out to you. Okay, I'll just go back. Perfect. So this is how it will look like. So before you proceed from over here, you need to go ahead and point something. So you need to go ahead and type SQL map over here. It means the name of the SQL binary file. -u, when you go ahead and use that over here, that means over here. -u is the target URL, which is in case our SQL dummy website.com, and -dbs, it means it's just enumerating database management system databases. So this command will reveal quite a few interesting information. These are the things you will see when you go ahead and run that. Apache backend database MySQL 5.0. Retrieved information scheme, retrieve SQL dummy website, fetch data log to text under user share SQL map output xyz.com or the SQL dummy website.com. This means that he has a Linux or a Unix system. So now we have two databases that we can look into. Information schema, that is a standard database for almost every MySQL database. So we don't need to worry about it. So our interest over here would be on the SQL dummy website database. So let's go ahead and list tables of target database using SQL map, SQL injection. So now we need to know how many tables this SQL dummy website database got and what are the names. So to find the information, we'll be using another command, that is this SQL-u http :dummywebsite.com CGI bin item CGI 15, but after that I will be typing -d SQL dummy website space -- tables. So this database will get us these 8 different tables. It's more than 8 obviously, but these are the tables that we will get. That's fetching tables for databases, heuristics detected web page, and so these are the 8 databases that we will be getting. Item, link, other, picture, picture tag, popular picture, popular tag, and user info. And of course, we want to check what's inside the user info table using SQL map injection, as that table probably contains username and passwords. So now coming to the step 4, we need to go and list all the list columns on target table of selected database using SQL map SQL injection. So now we need to list all the columns on the target table user info of SQL dummy website database using SQL map SQL injection. And SQL map SQL injection makes it really easy by us going ahead and running this following command. That's SQL map -u http dummywebsite.com and -d SQL dummy website -t user info -- columns. So this specific query, when ran, it will give us these specific tables. So that is the user ID, int unsigned, user login, varchar, user password, varchar, user ID. So this is exactly what we're looking for. Target table, user login, and user password. So the next step that we would be doing would be to use or to list usernames from target columns of target table of selected database using SQL map injection. SQL map SQL injection makes this easy. So for us to go and do that, we need to go ahead and run this specific command. That's SQL map -u and blah 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 -d SQL dummy website -t user info -c user _ login -dump. So when you go ahead and run this, you will be amazed to see what you have got. We will getting the username and from the database. So as you can see, we have retrieved user X, and it will go ahead and analyze the table dump for possible password hashes. So after we go ahead and do that, we need to extract the password from the target columns of the target table of the database using SQL map injection. So you're probably going to get used to how SQL map injection tool is used. And before I go ahead and proceed anything, that would be it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I'll be continuing with the gathering the password, and if once we go ahead and get the password, it will not exactly what you would expect it to be. So we need to again go ahead and crack the specific thing that we will be getting, which I'll be showing you into the next tutorial.